Welcome everyone. Hope you're well. How is everyone doing? What's happening? Let me know how the stream is, please. I tried to make some adjustments again on OBS to see. I'm just going to mute myself from talking here. So, let me know how the picture quality is. Is it any different? How many seconds am I roughly behind? Nico, buddy boy, how's it going? Nice of you to stop by. How are tricks on your end? Did you trade today? So we actually on the 10-year here, we had from the latest video that I carried out, we had near enough a carbon copy at once. We had 10k absorbed, down tick, and then we lifted the whole amount. I then essentially went in, and then I've been sitting watching it for like 15-20 minutes, and then I decided to just get out with my two tickaroos because look at this order here. You know, there is like 2,530 contracts here in three orders. We're going to really struggle at this time to break this because my obvious target was, you know, back to the value area low or even better, back to POC. But I could, you know, it could be there forever, and it doesn't exactly seem to be the volume because the bid is pretty strong. Another reason why when I got in was we had some size behind us. Hey, buddy. I'm gonna call you Liv because I don't want to butcher your name, mate. Hopefully you don't mind. Nice of you to join us. So yeah, we're going to switch across to indices in a wee second because everyone is going to be bored to death watching treasuries. It has been an absolutely lackluster day in the 10-year. I mean, I think we've maybe now like 17 ticks or something, the full range. We've just been going between, you know, value area low to value area high pretty much all day. You can see here this is a 4 tick range chart. There has been a lot of absorption here on the bid, with us being, you know, negative 22k delta, but yet we're pretty much not really moving. Um, as I said, I would have probably held this back to the value area low or threes, maybe three and a halves, but I really think we're going to struggle to break. We're going to struggle to break twos here with this size of these orders, to be honest. So let me know how the stream is, how close are you guys to real time. I want to try and see if we can get it down to like 5 seconds. Okay, let's switch to the normal ladders. Oh, this is still here. Wow, get this off. Jesus. Did you guys hear that? That was madness. Oh gosh, I'm having a mare here. Yes. Yeah, I was trying it out, mate, just to see. To be honest with you, literally, I'm not a fan so far. Seems. Which one have I not got up here? Which one am I missing? The Russell. Why is the Russell not here? That's right here. Jeez, oh. Okay. So yeah, wasn't exactly. I don't know. I find it as well that if I add it onto the DOM, um, it messes up the DOM chart, and it's quite good. I can actually utilize it. I'll need to give it a chance, to be honest with you. See, I've got this custom study. I'll need to remove it. Analysis studies, and then it's this custom remove. Uh, okay, looking like a nice juicy bell curve. So, what are we thinking? Did you guys trade today? Let me scroll out a little bit. So, downside for pre-market, then the classic correction, then we've hit overnight highs here. Now we're retesting, and see what could potentially happen here. Do we think we're going to punch this and essentially close above, or are we going to effectively return back down into this range? Looking like it's want to go higher at the moment. Scalps in the pre-market, nice. Yeah, this has been a classic correction of overnight session, or correction of Globex. Let me get rid of these lines. Okay, so let's see if we're going to get the classic sweep. This is annoying. This is not the right size. There we go. Yeah, so see how we finish. See how we finish. It can't be as bad as Treasuries today. It's a brutal day. That price squawk. Jeez, oh man, that gave me a fright when I put that on. I need to really customize like the threshold for that, because that would drive me mad. I mean, on the likes of Tick Strike, I have like 11 is the sensitivity, so it doesn't go off that much because some size here on the offer. So if that said buy and sell all the time, my god, I would be losing my mind. So I've just pulled those offers. You know, the regulators should pretty much just come and watch the stream for a day. You know, what do you think? Spoofing is dead, they say. Okay, we're really cracking here. Let's see if they're gonna absorb and then give a correction back. But the obvious next point where we would be looking, if this doesn't give a fade, the next point is probably going to be up here. But everything is ticking up at the minute. Everything is ripping. So Wow. This is just not going to stop, is it? Notice that there's not that much buying it just come in though. So how up to date are you guys in the stream? Hello, Pikey boy. How's it going, buddy? Not that much buying there for considering we just absolutely blasted. I think there was some stops triggered there. So let's see if you take the full amount they are. So let me know how up to date you guys are on the stream. If you're like 5 seconds behind, 10, 30, whatever the deal is. How's the quality? Because I made a few adjustments. It's kind of slightly triggering me that this is. Price squawk really screwed up my deck here. I'm having a nightmare here. There we go. Right. Because it was slightly triggering me that it wasn't the full screen. There we go. Yeah, exactly. I'll need to do that. I can maybe add it on via OBS. I've tried on Sierra to add it on, but it gives me my time. Um, and I also noticed that when I put it on, it's slightly different on each DOM. It doesn't update in seconds. I'll need to. In fact, I think I can maybe do that. Let me go. Is it like time? Chart time? Clock. Aha! Here we are. Uh, use bold. Draw above the main price graph. Let's just apply it and see what it does. Okay. Look at that. Genius. You guys now have the time. So how far behind are you? Let me know. If it's 30 seconds, I'm going to be pretty cheesed off with all the random buttons I was pressing on OBS and stuff, and YouTube and all that. I'm hoping you're like 5. I think 5 seconds is probably good. Okay, looking like we're going to be fading here at the moment. Oh, good. Good. 5 seconds. We can live with that, right? I don't think we're getting baited 5 seconds considering buffering internet speed and YouTube, you know? 5 seconds is pretty good. It was 30 before. 30 is like a world away in the market, right? Mm. So, all bets on a postcard. Where do we think we could finish? 4, 5, 6. Nice. Okay. Okay. Sweet. So NQ's at POC. I think we need some more downside. We need to get these sort of 96s, 95s down here in order for ES to somewhat get back to the overnight low area. Not exactly very clear cut. And we did just breach Friday's value area high, so I still think we have some more downside, to be honest. I would like to see the market revert back to 24s here, where the sort of monthly POC is. And if market does get up here in this session, which I don't think so, most likely just going to be a mean reversion back into the bell curve, to be honest. But in order for that to happen, NQ needs to start slapping. If you guys have not liked the stream, can you hit the like button for me, please? Notice some size here. Let's see how they've just pulled that. Let's see if they pull 69.5 or sellers. If this is to, they just pulled it again. Then wow. Okay, so they just pulled that right at the last second. Only 92 and 82 traded there. So we are trying to bid the market back up here. Classic engineering of liquidity right now. They're just prompting these orders up, pulling them continuously. I love how they say that spoofing is, you know, gone. I mean, they've since in the last 5 minutes, these guys have planted 200 lots and pulled them continuously. So watch this 151 pulled, 200s pulled, unbelievable. The reason why you're seeing the pull, right, is because they've only 54 traded in there. You know, if it was, I actually reckon the person who's doing this is actually short, and they're doing this to try and get other firms to go down and fill their orders, then they're just pulling them. What do you mean? What do you mean, Neil? You've never traded anything like this before? You mean the amount of spoofing that's happening here, or? I mean, technically, the regulators should just come and watch this stream for 30 minutes, right? We've just seen about 10 spoofs in the last 5 minutes. So at least that one traded. The only real explanation that you can have for this amount of orders being pulled is that the actual placer of these is actually short, and then they're essentially wanting people to sell into that to try and drive price down, because why would you pull them? If you really want filled, you would just place them, right? I know it's completely illegal, mate. Someone is at it. Like, this is, you're actually spot on. Like, there's something weird. Maybe you should see if Nav's out of jail or something. But 200 lots is not enough. You need to be. But you can see how the market reacts to that activity, right? Because typically when they're flashed, other algorithms are going to go for them like a magnet, but then they're pulling them at the last second. And you guys obviously can see for it. It's not a human that's doing that. It's an algorithm that's doing it. Because you can't pull them that fast. There was one up here about, I don't know, time in the stream, but if you notice, he flashed it and then pulled it straight away. There's no one that's that quick. So it has to be one of the algos that's running. Regulated probably doing the order. Exactly, lizards. Lizard spike, the bastards. Yeah, 100%. I think we're gonna. I mean, we're really positive on the day now, right? And we're like only 7k delta. You know, typically when you're extremely bid on a day, you know, you're having like 15, 20k delta. And this has just been a continual grind lower right now. Let's recenter. But the only way you're really going to figure out why these dudes are doing those orders, because it's just speculation like that. I mean, it's clearly spoofing, right? But the only way you're going to do that is probably speak to one of the large market making firms till they tell you what the deal is. But I mean, what assumption would you guys make on that? I mean, the only thing that I can think of is the placer of those, say, 200 contracts and stuff that have been pulled is actually someone that's working the offer, you know, and we're going to probably go down here to like POC now. We've seen NQs broke down, so we're working away. We need to try and break 64s if we are to go back down to the previous day close. Hi Vic, how's it going? Yeah, I can see the flush happening, but the thing is, you get quite a lot in the way here, right? You've had quite a bit of volume. It's traded here today, then it's sold off, then we've went bid. Um, so there's been a little bit of volume traded here, which more people are going to be looking to buy this because this is a classic break and retest. We need to see an almighty dump in order to crack this. And then if we do manage to, you're right, Neil, if we do crack that and then clear out here, I'm not doing this level that I'm going to trade it or anything, but if we do clear out this sort of level here, then there's going to be tons of stops triggered here because everyone that bought here, stops are going to be here. Everyone that bought that didn't take profits, you know, but you have people that essentially bought the breakout. They're now starting to panic a little bit right now. You know, the last chance saloon is going to be 64s for them, and if sellers do bang it, then we're going to have the cascade where the longs that bought up here will need to liquidate, and then it helps essentially the squeeze, right? So we'll see. But as we stated at the start of the stream, um, classic bell curve right now. So we'll look to see if we can go back into like 56s or something. Easy deal, only 3 trades, nice one. Very nice. The market's moving here and there's not really anything trading, to be honest. There's not really any volume. We'll clear this and see. The market's moved right now just by orders been pulled. Right, there's 200. Let's see. Let's see if they actually take it. They do. Notice we're now just touching the break and retest area. Nice, Vic. It actually played out today at the start of the stream. If you go to, I'm trying to think, it's like 30 minutes ago on the 10-year, cracked a low. There was like 10k absorbed on the bid, ticked down, and then instantly lifted the next price. I took that long, but then as I stated at the start of the stream, there was a huge order sitting on the offer. It's like 7k, and I just thought we would really struggle to break that at this time, so I just took the tick. Interesting to see how that played out. So the next one it will probably look to cover is we'll cover the opposite side of the coin, which is going to be more on along the lines of pressure points and instead of the absorption happening, you're basically going to look to take the breakout, which I personally, you almost need to. You need a and like you need an element of luck in breakout trades, in my opinion, because you need to anticipate them going to crack it. And it's always the time where when you decide to get in the trade and anticipate it, also everyone else that's got size needs to anticipate it. you know. So you really need to probably do it when you're maybe like 3 ticks or so from the low, and you need it to be, you need treasuries to be ticking down as a whole to basically catch it. The 30-year was actually the one that led the break of the lows today. It did it first. Let me know if you guys have got any questions of what you're seeing. This is our classic setup. I feel we're going to range here for a while, team. I think we're going to sit here, range around for a while. I think we're going to struggle to break 64s. The initial first test, we saw the flashing on the bids, and now it's the market is lifting the offer. So we are seeing someone stepping in here. Okay, so no 69 and a quarter, right, and 69s. So someone is happy to absorb an offer here. The market's just all janky right now. Look, you've got Russell kind of ticking down. The Dow is at the highs. NQ doesn't know whether it's night or day. You know what I mean? There's not really any any correlation at the moment, which I suppose helps the general concept that we're not really going to be pumping. But we need NQ to basically get past the POC. If anything, right now this looks more primed to sell off than it does go bid, to be honest. Oh jeez, Vic, it was like watching paint dry. Bond, do you mean the timing sales? Is what you're meaning? So I vary between timing sales, to be honest with you. I would have it up more often if Sierra's wasn't so unpleasing to look at. Um, and to be honest with you, I'm normally glued to the DOMs anyway, so I don't really miss much, especially in treasuries. Okay, so notice here, are these going to trade? 69 three quarters, got 293. They did trade, okay. That one's just been pulled. So let's say the market, if it goes down to fill these 68 and three quarters here, it's just been pulled again. Jesus, honestly. It's always the 200 lots, right? Let's see, are they gonna fill that? Pulled again. Jeez, oh, this is a masterclass in a spoof. This. This is wild. Look at it again. At least they picked a good number this time. uh, I think as well with this, when they're flashing here, right? Basically, algorithms are then buying because they've got size behind them, pretty much. That's what these bid to offer algorithms do, is they like to try and get in for these and then get out of the next tick. I mean, sellers are anytime that these bids are showing, sellers are like gimme gimme, they're trying to hit them. Yes, I did, Vic. I made a whopping 15 ticks on the 10 year. I wasn't even looking there. I missed it. Did we just pull there? I'm assuming we did. 67, 51, 70. You know, we actually didn't even we didn't even trade anything on the offer here. Just I think the bid has been pulled, and then Q's going as well. If the Dow is in a world of its own, but everything else is ticking down. We need to break POC at 63 and three quarters. But when you're watching this here, you can kind of get a general feel for it, right? You know, you can see that we are now ticking down, and the fact that you're in this day type, it just seems relatively unlikely on a Monday that we are going to smash these levels up here. Just there we go. But we need to crack 64s before sellers can get the pom poms out, right? Yeah, relatively uneventful day to be honest, and that's what's good about treasuries. Even if you when you have a day like that and you start off with a losing trade or a couple of losers, it's kind of hard unless you buy the middle of the range, sell the bottom. You know what I mean? Considering it's such a low range, like you're bound to at least scratch. You know, so that's a good thing about it. It's just a mean, but in days like that, it's just mean reversion god, to be honest. But you're literally in a trade for like 20 minutes at a time, at least, when it's that thick. Boring. Ultra, did you trade? How was UB today? Did you watch that? Did you take any trades in it, or did you only trade indices today? Oh, the Russell is ready to rock. Russell's like, come on, guys. You know, I'm ready to dump here. If you guys can hurry up, you know. NQ's like, I'm coming down. Just wait for me. Then ES will decide if it's going to break POC. And then this is nice. Nice one. Yeah, we are poised at the moment for a bit of a dump. If we can crack 64s with a little bit of oomph, then we're going to see the cascade that we discussed earlier. And we have seen some size come in here, denoted by the yellow bubbles. I see there's 22 of you lovely people watching, and there's only 9 likes. You know, get liking, please. Smash the like button. So, with our usual setup, in the next probably 2 hours, then we're going to see, I think, over the next 2 hours, with the volume coming in, I think we're most likely to probably dump back here, but we could see, let's put this into its own single profile. So we are currently at the retest area. So key point right now. We need to somehow break this and crack through the point of control for the regular trading hours today. Tons of selling here at 65.5. Let's see if they continue. Yeah, exactly, Pike. I think we're going to struggle, to be honest with you. Um, we need everything else to tick down in the meantime. I think we've got an initial balance high to the contend with, we've got the previous day's open, and we've got a POC, to be honest with you. Normally when you get to POC here, you know, they're going to expect some chopperoo. We are seeing some selling coming in though. We've just essentially wiped off the guts of 6k delta in the last 20 minutes. So that's something. So I think really two options that we've got here. We've got come down, reject it, bid back up, and then contend for the highs. We've got come down here, chop around, do nothing, wait for the volume to spike in the next hour and a half. And in option 3, we have blast through here, cascade the longs where they then need to cover, and then we look to target 58s. That's probably the one that's the most aggressive, I would say. Considering the Dow is now ripping, which is kind of giving the market a little bit of a tug. But it seems to be a day at the moment, so far, where the market's moving by just orders being pulled rather than any real size being traded, to be honest, at prices, because the book is pretty thin at the moment. You know, you're like 30, 40 bids, you know. If the market was a bit thicker, it would be, you know, what you're seeing at 65s, you should be like 100 bid, 100 offer each price, but you've got like 5 ticks, roughly 4 or 5 ticks where the orders can be pulled and you can be offside 4 or 5 ticks. So you just need to be conscious of that. Yeah, let me know if anyone's got any more questions as to what they're seeing. I think this time thing's actually pretty cool. Don't know why I didn't add that before. So thanks whoever suggested that. Mm-hmm. Weird going on here with Russell up here. Sorry, Dow up here. But NQ is the one leading the pack as usual. We did combine this and maybe change it to 2 ticks. I'll need to see. But I don't like how I'm not seeing the you know the best bid and the best offer in here like I have with you know here I'm not getting that when I've got NQ combined, and it took me a while having to work out because it normally makes the depth of market all janky. Okay, key point here. We're just approaching POC. Let's see how we go on. We should see some size trade here. Wow, they are just banging it right now, aren't they? That's interesting. We see they've just not even, they've just skipped right through point of control, but it'll probably trade around here. Okay, so option 3. If we continue banging here, buyers are in for a rough couple hours if they continue to bang this. To be honest with you. Yep. Right back into the bell curve we go. We are close. Okay, note the stops that could be triggered at 58s. Let's mark it. So roughly here. It's actually 57s where that's going to be. No, not yet going. Not going yet, Pike. Not going yet at all. Probably 10 ticks away from it. Basically, the bid was held at 60s. So you are seeing the bid is starting to, we're now aggregating at these prices now. Yeah, this is the type of volume you're expecting out of the point of control. Let's see if Mr. 200 lot is going to spoof again. Surely he's at least trying to get it off at the point of control at least. Right, here we go. 100% confirmed now with what they're doing. 100%. This guy's flashing 200 here in the bid and then hitting the offer. Very unlikely that at that exact moment in time, say some other firm has just magically decided to smash 200 here in the bid and 200 here in the offer. So in essence, that's just confirmed the suspicion here. It's the same firm, or it's not even an individual. It's a firm that's doing it. It's the same company that is in essence flashing the bid and working the offer at the same time. Because they just flash both at the same time. There's no danger that that's a coincidence. I hope it's not messed up. Can everyone else hear me okay? How does I mean? Is it what's what appears to be wrong? So you've got a couple of things there, Pike. You've got the yellow line here is the POC plus the initial balance high plus the previous day open. Sounds okay. Okay. Oh, you hear me twice and low. Hmm. Maybe try refreshing, like an echo. Oh, really? Does anyone else hear an echo? Try refreshing Streamlive to see if that makes any difference. Does anyone else hear an echo? Echo! I couldn't resist. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Ivy. I mean, so these types of games that these firms are doing, they're not doing this to spook out retail traders. They're just not doing that because A, retail doesn't even look at the DOM. They're doing this to catch out other firms to try and get them to feed into their orders so that it can either, I mean, this is just speculation, but they're doing this either to get filled or to basically get a couple of more ticks out of their original orders. To be honest. I'll have a look into it after the stream, live to see if there's anything. But yeah, it's hard to know exactly what they're doing. You can just essentially make a general assumption. But I think that they gave it away there, where they flashed on the bid, pulled, and then flashed in the offer. Right? Just seems a little bit of a coincidence that it's the exact same order type for the dude that's been spoofing and then pulled here as well. Seems to be a. And obviously, this is the thing: the regulators are not checking this. Clearly, it happens a lot. This is what Neil was saying is correct. This is probably one of the worst times I've seen it. They normally do it where, maybe do it, I don't know, a couple of times in a stream, but they've done it like, what, 10, 15 times since we've started here. It's always quite punchy orders they do it with as well, like a decent size. There we are. I think that actually traded this time. You watch the market manipulation video where it's in pre-market. I think it was like um I can't exactly remember the time, maybe 3 hours after open of the overnight session, and there was like 2,000 contracts traded in the bid and offer. It looked like almost algo washing if you watch that video. I've never seen anything again like that. An overnight session. It was like a red herring, to be honest. Yeah, Vic, exactly. They do it so you can pay the bills, 100%, and go to the nice house in the Hamptons. I mean, there has to be like these firms will have multiple different programs running at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not just gonna have one algorithm. You're gonna have a low hanging fruit one that just takes the bid and offer. Wow. Can anyone check the? That'd be a good time to have the time and sales up. To be honest, I want to see if that was one size, that one order type that came in there and banged that down, or if it was just the bid been pulled. But that was it. Wow. Wasn't one size, bid was pulled. Right. Sweet. That's what I was thinking. So what happened, Neil? Did you average in? Did you move your stop? The hardest part about that is journaling it later. Sometimes if you know you've been a bit of a knob and you have to journal it, it normally needs to take a day. But if you write down your journal or something, it's hard. I know it's difficult to journal after you've been a bit of a dick. Oh, you just took so many losses. All right, okay, okay. What were you doing? Were you Were you trying to break out? Were you fading? Yeah, because this is the thing is people look at this and they say, oh, this is just went in a straight line. But where did you get in? If you didn't buy here, there is no pullback here. It's just a straight line. It's actually quite rough price action because it's not. It's just this grinding. It's the grind of death, and then there's not really given a pullback to go long. This has been the pullback here. It's not been really easy. So I feel you, man. If you were fading this at all, then rough. And also, this is exactly what I'm saying. This is not a simple price action because either you buy here or you just buy somewhere in here and close your eyes. It's not the simplest, but it looks like if we can hit these, I think it's more 57s to be honest. Let me tell you the exact level where we're going to see the stops being triggered. Yeah, 57 and a half. If we can crack that, then the sell-off is on. And they're looking like it. Here we go. Last chance saloon for the buyers. The bid is holding strong there. Yeah, exactly, Neil. That's the trouble, man. I've noticed myself when the bid and offer is kind of thin like this, you need to widen your stops. Did anyone trade oil today? Okay, so the bid was relatively firm here, but we. We want to see blood here. Come on. We want to see the 57 and a halves taken, and then the longs have to liquidate. Because if they take this with some size, and the Dow has pulled off the highs, which is good. But yeah, we're just about to approach the 56, 56-ish. It's been POC for the TPO. So Liv, I mainly execute on ES when I'm trading indices, and I use the rest for correlations. Typically, mostly NQ, but it tends to help, right? Because if the Russell and the Dow were cracking highs, for example, right now, and this was at the lows, then it seemed relatively unlikely that this is going to bang and take the lows. So it's just general correlations. I'm not really. I like to have a quick glance to see the absorption that's happening, and where size has been traded. But I'm not actively watching it like I'm staring at ES, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's why time in sales, I typically just stare at the DOM to be honest, and then at most I'll maybe use tick strike to see for correlations with the big six, or I'll have them up so I can see when size is actually coming in. Because here's another thing: if like money's coming into Apple and selling off, or at least it's going down with some movement, right? Um, the last thing you want to be doing is longing NQ, for example, if that's happening, or if Tesla. Do you know what I mean? So it just gives you an idea. I don't believe in like cross market correlations, but I believe in correlations in that specific product type, if that makes sense. Like indices with indices, treasuries with treasuries, and so on. I think as soon as you start throwing in, currencies and so on in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the dollar tends to have an inverse correlation between indices, of course, but I think you need to keep it relatively simple. But that's typically the script, Liv. I'm not ultimately watching them massively. I'm using them for correlations as such because the most painless trades that you're going to have when all indices are going bid or all indices are selling off. Coupled with, for example, some into the big six where some size is selling into them. It helps your trade massively, to be honest. If you've got all of that going in your favor and you're hitting a breakout, for example, so you're hitting the bid into a breakout, all that's going in your favor, is more than likely going to be a successful trade than not. And all we're trying to do here is realistically is try and be involved when the larger firms are involved, right? That's all we're trying to do here because we can't move the market. We're trying to see what their footprints are. And this is the thing as well is it's now we're just chopping around POC, you know. Yeah, exactly, Neil. It's basically like beating the casino, isn't it? It's the same thing. These guys, these firms. I mean, these orders here are pretty much can be fake. So some sellers come in and then they just pull. You know what I mean? And for all intents and purposes, they could be the same firm. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing is that it's hard for people sometimes to understand is it can these firms can be working the bid and offer at the same time because they've been doing it on multiple accounts. It's not like they're not like us where we can't have a long and short open at the same time. They'll be having it on both accounts. So if they're net short, then they just remove their bids and they've got multiple. They've got offers going and bids going. And they're working the underlyings, so they can have been net short up here and then just pull their bids, and before you know it, you're down here. And then they get out the 300-400 contracts, and then they just bang it back up. But the thing is, it's all very well saying that, man, but you don't know when they're going to do it. That's the thing. Only they do. And I suppose that makes a sense where you've got that nav dude. He's basically like, right, if I'm short here, I can then start, either aggressively backing my orders up on the offer or start hitting on the bids down here so that people try and go into this because they act like magnets. Then when price gets there, they just pull. You're right, you would be doing it. And it's such a grey area. It's like insider trading. It's the same thing, isn't it? Where how do you prove that my sources tell you that Apple's gonna smash out the park or Nvidia is just is having a good year? How do you disseminate that between you know inside information and not? Do you know what I mean? It's such a grey area and it's hard to prove everything. because it's a market that people talk. And realistically, as well, right? These firms that are doing that are never going to be punished because the CME is the one that ultimately holds the keys, right? And who brings the CME the most revenue? These large firms. So if you're making a fortune off of these firms, right? You're not going to phone up your largest client and say, "Hey, dude, I saw you spoof 5 times yesterday. Wrap it, or we're just going to press delete and all the revenue." No one would do that. Exactly, Vic. That's the thing. They can do whatever they want. And the regulators, honestly, regulators, if it's run like a government organization, you know what any government run organizations are like, man. They don't run for profit, so they're hopeless. You know, regardless of where you are in the world, your local government in your specific county or region is probably run. It's everything takes an age. They can't even sort a pothole out in the street. Never mind, you know, try and compete with the best quants in the world. You would just bamboozle them. You've got no danger that the regulators are going to be able to understand what some of the cutting edge technology is in futures markets. There's no chance. You could tell them anything. Unpopular opinion. And now we're right back. I mean, at the end of the day, the way I see it is, that's just the way the world is. You would want the same if you were in that position, right? You're just not in that position. So you just need to be aware. Look at that, the bid's just been pulled again. So let's see if they can drop it back to POC, how aggressive the bid is going to drop, or are they going to continue. But you just need to be aware of these things. And I think on days like this, it's maybe wise to maybe either only trade one contract, or depending on what you're used to trading, downsize your position a little bit and increase your stops. So I try and do in the bid and offer is